Hi everyone, Vincent here, and I'm just slideshowing you everyone this PowerPoint about the BBC, the one I made today, and so I hope you enjoy this video. And as you can see, the PowerPoint is now in slideshow mode, so we hope you enjoy. BBC. Welcome to the 2D BBC Theatre, where this 2D PowerPoint experience will happen. Now sit back and no jokes and no giggling. This PowerPoint is sponsored by Channel 5, bringing you the Inside of British Airways, which starts at 8:30 weekdays on Channel 5 and stream now on My 5. The introduction. Welcome to the Introduction. Welcome to the introduction slide. Take a moment to grab the information about the BBC. We will explain the history and functions on two different slides. The BBC, which stands for the British Broadcasting Corporation, is the public broadcaster of the United Kingdom, based at the Big General Broadcaster Building in London, capital in both England and the United Kingdom. The BBC building is not just big, it's enormous. Bigger than the BBC building located right here in Nottingham, where I live. In the BBC and in the London BBC building is where the general businesses happen, like the news, radio, and etc. The history of the BBC. The BBC was founded in October 18th, 1992, which was 100 years ago. Note that the C in BBC was standing for company, and it was also founded in January 1st, 1927 by the HM government in 1922 and 1927. Note that the C in BBC stands for cooperation from 1927 and moving forward to the present moment. This was first headquartered in London through history, before having headquarters across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So this logo right here was the old logo. We'll go to a logo history in about a minute, which is included in the PowerPoint. So this one right over here is the oldest logo, the first ever logo before this one, which is the one used in the present. The functions of the BBC. We are now getting onto the functions of the BBC. Hey, take a moment to grab everything I said. Take a moment to grab everything I say into your mind from this slide. Note that when I say functions of the BBC, I mean like what does the BBC do? Please do keep that in mind. All the BBC does is that it's being the world's leading widespread broadcaster, creating world-class programs and content, which inform and educate and entertain millions of people across the UK worldwide. They specialize news. And they specialize news, radio. They specialize news, radio, BBC iPlayer, a streaming service by the BBC, BBC Comedy, and BBC Scotland, Scottish and Gaelic and adult programming. So when I say Scottish programming, I mean like BBC Scotland, and and children's broadcasting like CBeebies, and the only teenagers broadcasting service, CBBC, and specialising in education called BBC Bitesize, and Welsh TV like S4C, and DVD and videograms. I mean DVD and VHS and videograms. DVD and VHS videograms. So this was the BBC video logo from 1988. BBC Radio. Yeah, that was a note here. That BBC video logo was from 1988 and can be seen in old videos on DVD and VHS. And we have all channels of the BBC. The BBC has a lot of channels. Take a moment and to take them into your mind, I'll tell them in the list of bullet points. So we have the BBC. We have BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, BBC Four, BBC Cymru Wales, S4C, BBC Scotland, BBC Alba, BBC Comedy, BBC Radio, CBeebies, CBBC, and BBC News. And spoiler alert, BBC 4 must have been gone, but eventually made a comeback. The apps and website you may find on the internet. On App Store by the BBC. The BBC also has apps on the App Store and websites. It's on the internet. I will name them all in bullet points. So we have BBC Sounds, BBC Bitesize. So we have BBC Sounds and BBC Bitesize, CBeebies and CBBC websites, BBC iPlayer, as I said, a streaming service brought to you by the BBC, BBC News, BBC Sport, and BBC Weather. The BBC logo history. We are now going for my 3 favourite BBC logos through history. I will show them to you, and I will promise I will go through 1 slide each of each logo. Then we will reach to the end. Note that I used to love watching the BBC logo right now in the present moment and when I was just a lad. Logo number 1 of the BBC from the 1990s. This was a very old BBC logo from the 1990s, and I like it because I like the way the 3 squares are leaning together with the letters B, B, and C on them, and on 3 coloured lines, blue, red, green. Logo number 2 of the BBC from 1997 and to 2021 in the present. Until the year 1997, the old blue and red-green coloured logo was changed to a black BBC logo with all the 3 squares, as with B, and C, which are now lined up 1 space away from each other, and the red, green, and blue lines were removed. This was before the present from 1997. And this is how it looks like. And logo number 3 of the BBC in the present moment from 2021. This is the sparkling new BBC logo from 2021 because the previous one was used from 1997, and everybody says that the previous logo was super old, like Super Mario, which is my opinion on the previous logo. But as I'm living in the present moment, I am focusing on the new flexible BBC logo. And that's this one over there. This is the one used in the present, as I said. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching the PowerPoint. Make sure you don't forget anything as you're leaving the 2D BBC Theatre. And we hope you have a relaxing onward journey. That's all, folks.